Are you torn between the Amaran T4C and the PT4C and trying to figure out which tube light works best for you? We're gonna dive deep into the differences between these two, give you a quick preview. The T4C is just a lot brighter. Let's talk about those differences. Both are from Amaran's RGBWW lineup. And basically what that means is they have the same chipset inside them, but they do different things and they're engineered differently. There's some key differences between these. In this video, we'll break down the build quality, brightness, pixel control, battery options, and price, plus a final verdict on which one might be the best for you. So build quality and design. Let's start with the T4C. This is a T4C. Right away, you'll notice it's rugged and swappable battery grip, which comes off just like this. It does change the weight, so I'll give you a heads up on that. But your center point is naturally here for balancing. With the battery grip, it's like way over here. Right, it's no longer balanced in the center. The rugged and swappable battery grip is great because you can swap it out very quickly on a shoot. So if you have this mounted somewhere on the light and your battery runs out, you can take this battery off, you can put another battery handle on and keep going if you're remotely and you don't have access to power. The battery life is around 90 minutes for each of these. There's a bunch of great mounting options on the T4C, which makes mounting it extremely flexible. You have mounting points on the ends, so 1, 2. You have mounting points on the sides, or on the back, 1, 2, 3. This makes it very versatile for wherever you want to hang it, or if you want 2 C-stands on this, like whatever it takes in order to rig this. Now with the PT4C, we're looking at an integrated battery design, no swappable grip at all, but it's compact and super streamlined. It has these 5-sided caps on the back side, and it has 2 mounting points on the end, one there, one on the other end. The 5-sided back is great if you're just going to set this down on a table. You can kind of roll it into whatever position you want, and I've done that, and it's great. It looks really cool on camera. That's what this is on camera right here, which, you know, obviously it's going to be a little bit blown out, but you can see the edge light that it creates. It's really cool. The T4C is above me as my edge light, my hair light, essentially, separating me from the background a little bit more. The other way to mount the PT4C is using these clear brackets that comes with 2, and it just snaps on like that. You have a mounting point there, and this can go anywhere along the battery. Now this is really balanced, so you might be able to get away with 1 depending, and it is magnetic on the back. I've actually used 2 of these, 1 on each end, and just attached it to a C-stand magnetically, and it worked great. It wasn't moving or anything like that. It was very stable, and I wouldn't do that if it wasn't super stable, but that is an option. Or if you have like a metal building and you're just needing to throw this up real quick, that could totally work. Charging wise, the T4C uses a DC adapter in order to charge. Now you can charge the battery and power the tube at the same time with a separate charging port. The PT4C uses USB-C charging, which is convenient. We all have a lot of USB-C cables laying around and plenty of bricks and chargers and stuff. And the battery is integrated into the design, so it's fully balanced, whereas the battery is not integrated into the T4C. Now, that makes the T4C a lot lighter when you don't have the battery attached to it, which could be a huge advantage depending on how you're using the T4C. If you're planning for longer shoots and you need battery swap flexibility, I really think the T4C is going to be better, especially if you're remote and you need to, like, in between takes, just take the other battery and pop one on. You can get extra batteries and without having to buy the tube and everything. Now let's talk about light output and color quality. Both on color quality is great. They're both really accurate as far as color temperature wise. The PT4C has a little bit higher range into the cool colors. I think it goes up to like 10,000 Kelvin or something like that. The T4C has a maximum output of 40 watts, making it the brighter option of the two. You'll notice it really holds its own in larger setups when you're needing that extra punch. Especially if you're doing anything remotely close to outdoors, you're gonna need that extra power. That's why I actually went with this one. Color temperature range is another big difference. The T4C can go from 2500 to 7500 Kelvin. So that's pretty standard range, especially if you're pairing with other Amaran. So I have Amaran 100Xs here as my fill lights. The PT4C, meanwhile, extends up to 10,000 Kelvin on the cooler side. So both produce great natural colors thanks to the tech that's in them. So you can expect skin tones and pairing with other lights to be extremely accurate and easy for use, especially in post-production. Now here's where the PT4C really shines. It has 16 independent pixel zones, so you can create dynamic lighting effects like color chases, fades, and even some custom animations. This is an awesome feature for those who love creative cinematic lighting. The T4C does not have pixel control, but it's perfect if you're looking for a clean, even light without the pixel-based bells and whistles. It's straightforward, super effective for more standard setups and for lights that are off camera, in my opinion. If your light's gonna be on camera, then I think that's where the PT4C really does shine a lot more, which is why I have a T4C off camera as my edge light and the PT4C on camera as a color edge light over here. I think if you're gonna have this on camera and you have full control over your settings, over your environment, and you have a really great camera and low light, then the PT4C can be fantastic. Especially if you have like a T14 cinematic lens or something like that gives you plenty of aperture, plenty of light coming in. The T4C, on the other hand, is just gonna be able to combat other ambient lights better. So if you're in a building with windows and you're needing a really solid edge light, whether it's color or just warm edge light, then the T4C is going to give you the output because it's 40 watt versus the PT4C. As far as battery options, real quick, the T4C's external battery grip, so you can swap out the batteries for continuous power, is great. Especially if you have this mounted on a C-stand and you're not anywhere near power, you can take the battery grip off, you can put a new one on without having to adjust your scene. Each battery for the T4C is rated at 77 watt hours, so you can easily carry spares for a long project. On the PT4C, you've got a built-in 77 watt hour battery, giving you around 170 minutes of full output. So while you don't have the swappability, it does create a clean all-in-one package for quicker shoots, plus it's more balanced. This one is balanced right in the middle for the PT4C, whereas the middle on the T4C is not balanced, whereas that is balanced. So it's going to be off-center with the battery grip. Now without the battery grip, it's actually in the middle because that's all your weight. Like, the tech is still in the tube itself and all the lights and stuff, but the battery isn't, which actually makes the T4C lighter if you're not using the battery, versus the PT4C has a little bit extra girth to it because the battery is integrated into the tube light itself. Both lights connect seamlessly to the Amaran app, which they used to be the Sidious Link app, but now Amaran has their actual own app, and it's fantastic. It's great, especially if you're shooting on your own. The reason I went with Amaran is because I have two Amaran 100Xs already, and it's really easy to be able to control those lights and these lights all at the same time, all very quickly. While I'm sitting here looking at my monitor over here, I can make really fine adjustments without having to get up and change, which most modern lights have that now, but the Amaran app is really fantastic. Both of these lights use the Amaran app. Obviously, the Pixel Tube is going to have more options and more controls and even more effects than the T4C, but using the app is the same between the two. And pricing is where the decision might get a little bit tricky or be the deciding factor for you. For the T4C, which is the 4-foot version of the Amaran tube light, it's $330. Now, you get higher output for that, but you don't get all the pixel effects. For the Amaran PT4C, it's $209 for that. They do make a 2-foot and even a 1-foot version of the PT4C. But obviously, you're going to get half and a quarter light output because you don't have as many LEDs for light output. For the T4C, you're going to be paying for build quality, brightness, and mounting options. That's ultimately what you're paying for. For the PT4C, you're paying for the pixel effects and maybe the balance and price. If you can spare 120 bucks or just wait a month when you do have an extra 120 bucks or sell one of your other lights that are sitting around, get the T4C. This is the professional option in my opinion. You're gonna get brightness, you're gonna get build quality, it's gonna last you longer. This back is metal, I think it's aluminum. This is all plastic. I don't know if you noticed yet, but I already have a scuff on the PT4C. I got it the first day because I was standing there and it just fell over and it got scuffed. Now, this is metal. That's not going to get scuffed. Obviously, your use case is going to be unique and to what you think that you need. I do think we underestimate a lot of times brightness and how important that can be, especially if you're working on a budget and you're like, oh, I'll just turn my ISO up. If you're combating the sun, That's gonna be hard to do. The PT4C is not even gonna show up outdoors at all. The T4C would at least give you a little bit of something like an edge light or, you know, a hair light. My big takeaway is this. If this is gonna be on camera, then I do think the PT4C is really cool. There's a lot of lighting effects. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. There's even like a fire effect on it. That's pretty cool looking. And if you're live streaming or even doing live selling, like I've used it on Whatnot as like the background, and it is really cool to see like the colors tracing and things like that. So if you really need fine-tuned like those kind of effects, cool. Or for like a sci-fi movie that you're making, great. If you really need output, I think the T4C is the way to go. And this is the one I'll be getting. Look, I love the PT4C. It's great. I honestly want to keep all 4 of them that I bought. I'm going to be returning the PT4C because it's just not bright enough. And it's harder to mount because of these little plasticky things. And it's just not as durable. Now, that's just my opinion. That's my use case. Definitely make the decision that works the best for you. I'm making this video because I couldn't find a direct comparison of any quality of the PT4C and the T4C of real world use case. Let me show you real quick the brightness difference and why I chose the T4C over the PT4C. This is the PT4C. This is the T4C. Both at 100% brightness at 4000 Kelvin. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm completely blown out on this side with the T4C than the PT4C. Like, that brightness is pretty impressive. My Amaran 100Xs have an octobox on it and a diffuser, and it's at 50% for my key light over here. My fill light is at like 20%. This is destroying the 100X. Of course it's closer, but that's pretty impressive. This looks like a tube light. This is a lightsaber. This is sick. So output is the only reason I'm buying this one over this one. The build quality is better. The mounting options are better, but genuinely, like, I can get over those things. I can even get over build quality. I'll be more precious with it if I need to, if the output was there for the PT4C. And granted, I like the effects that it has. This is necessary. You can't beat output. So for another 120 bucks, you should just get this one, in my opinion. Unless you really need chasing effects and like rainbow stuff on camera, or like exactly, you know, you need the chase kind of effect. I'm just trying to answer the question I didn't get answered via video content, or even honestly everywhere except for even B&H's website didn't give me a full comparison because like it didn't tell me how bright this was versus this was. So I'm like, let me just do it. Let me be the person to do it. If you found this video helpful, I would love if you could give this video a like. If you can give me a follow, that'd be great.